Well, welcome back to the Timeline Ranch. So it's a beautiful morning, nice and calm. This is the day I need to go home. It's a shame to have to go home on such a pretty day here, but it is what it is. I've got about a 14-hour drive. This is an inter-trip summary. I'll show you what all got done this trip. So I'm down here in the pond. So if you saw the last trip's video, I was working on this retention wall. And I had started this one here. I think I had 2 courses done. So I got that buttoned up. Pretty happy to see that done while the pond was dry. Would have been a lot happier to see a whole bunch of digging on the bottom of this pond while it was dry with the excavator, but if you caught the other videos, you know the hydraulic pump went out on the excavator. And I've got some disappointing news from the dealership. They're charging me $12,160 to change the filters, the hydraulic fluid, the hydraulic pump, and some knuckles and different other parts that needed to be changed with the pump change out. After they got it back together, they came to the conclusion that there was more damage. And what they're telling me is that when the pump self-destructed, shavings from the pump went into the valve assembly that controls all the different hydraulics on it. Need to put some soil in here when I get the excavator behind these retention walls. Been watering these with the gray water. These are those Mission Texas almonds, so I put a little water on them this morning. But anyway, shavings went into that valve assembly, and they want to charge me another $16,000 in labor and parts to change that out. And I don't have that. I already had to do a little financial juggling to get the $12,000 to pay for what I thought was going to get the excavator back up in action. So I'm going to go pick it up from them. They said it runs enough that you can drive it on the trailer. It's out here, you know, not too far from the property, a couple 100 miles away. Everything's 100 miles away from here. But I'm going to pick it up, take it back to South Texas, take it to another Kubota dealership, and get a second opinion. And a lot of those dealerships, they'll offer kind of in-house financing for large repairs, because not a lot of people have a spare $28,000 laying around to fix the hydraulic system on their excavator. So yeah, got that disappointing news the other day from them. So on the way home, I'm gonna go pick the excavator up and take it back to the house. Sure is a shame to have a completely dry pond and not have the chance to dig it out. You know, one day was where all these spools right here came from. I dug a 30-foot by 25-foot, about 4-foot deep section out one day. I could have really made a difference on the volume of that pond. Probably would never see it dry again after that. It's a shame. Probably be another 10 years before I get a chance for the pond to be completely dry like that again when I had the opportunity to dig on it. I'm hoping spring break I can come out here with the excavator if it's repaired by then. So that retainer wall in the pond is what I worked on. This east facing fence that runs north-south. Put quite a few posts in this thing to get it buttoned up. Got all the angle braces in. Fencing is mainly what I did this trip. Pretty time consuming, you know, having to tote all the tools and T-post out in the middle of nowhere. Don't really have any roads that are close to the fence line besides the one on that flat area up top that I haven't started on. This is that southeast corner. Got this in. I was pretty happy to get this, you know, on the side of this hill done, because it's pretty steep and rough to work on, and tied into the T-post up on the top portion that I've ran about 700 foot of the fencing. The temperatures are about perfect. It's about 59 degrees right now. Sunny. It's supposed to get up to around 70. Well, let's go over to the building. I'll show you what I did in there. Yeah, I don't know if anyone out there's priced a Kubota lately, but they're around 75,000 for that same size machine. It's a KX04-4. That one's a 2016 model. I paid about 68 for it back then. But you know, 28,000, you're getting close to almost a half of the price of a brand new machine. And if you include that 9,000 I spent on the injector repairs, you know, replacement, making the diesel particulates filter, and the labor on it, it's a shame to have to sink that much money into a machine. Normally about a 10-year period you get on a machine before you have a bunch of big issues with it. But apparently I got the short end of the stick on this one. There had to have been some issues with that hydraulic pump from the factory to cause it to fail at less than 1,400 hours on it. So I finished grouting, for the most part, this fossilized limestone here behind the wood burning stove. I'm going to go ahead and grout around these shelves. I put caulking here, but I don't like that. You know, it's a little off on the color. So I'm going to do grout where the shelf meets it, and then I'll just do the caulking in the corner where it's more than likely going to crack if I don't use caulking, and along the edge where it meets the trim. But I think it's looking pretty good. I really like that bone white grout on this fossilized limestone. Yeah, usually you get, you know, at least 10 years before you have major repair costs, but unfortunately I didn't have that luck. Looks like probably buy a new machine and at 5 years, you know, pay for a 2-year extended warranty to get you to 5, because it comes with a 3-year, basically bumper to bumper. And you'll probably play it pretty safe like that. That's kind of what I do with my truck. You know, I keep the truck for 5 years. It's a diesel, so as long as you keep it below 50,000 miles on it, and you know, keep it looking decent, at least the interior, you'll get, you know, pretty high amount on the resale on it. I think last time I sold the truck, which it had been an accident, I still only paid about $11,000 to own the truck for 5 years. You're not going to get that out of another vehicle. So that's what I do on the truck. I guess I need to do that with the excavator too. Just, you know, finances didn't allow for that. That's why I didn't do that. Well, that's it for the end of trip summary. I guess I'm gonna go pick up a $12,000 repaired broken excavator. Well, we made it back to the house without any trailer drama, or so I thought. Apparently on the way home, one of the U-bolts broke on this side on the axle, and the weight of the excavator was keeping the axle planted on this little peg on the leaf spring to keep it centered. But when I took the Kubota to the dealership to figure out what's going on with it, you know, after I've already spent $12,172 on it and it's still not working, when I went to pull it out of the parking lot with the, you know, machine off the trailer with no weight on it, it was able to bounce off that peg and the whole axle shifted back. The back of the trailer jumped off the ground about 3 feet. It grabbed a hold of the wheel well here and mangled this stuff up. It's pretty thick. It's about 1/8 inch thick steel, so that's going to take quite a bit of, you know, it's solid. It's going to take quite a bit of beating to get that straightened back out. I'll probably have to re-weld it in a couple spots. It might actually be easier to cut it with a cut-off wheel and then beat it back straight and then re-weld it back to it. So today is trailer repair day. I've got another set of U-bolts that I carry with me to the ranch just in case I have some issues. So I'll be using that. I'll have to go to American Fence or one of those companies that carry trailer parts and get some more U-bolts. They messed the wires up too on the electric brakes right here. I don't know if you can see it, but right here the wire's all chewed up from when it got pulled back. Right here, this wire's all ate up. So I'm going to have to do a little work on that too. Anyway, this is what I'll be doing, putting this trailer back together, get it ready to go pick the Kubota up when it's fixed. So temperatures are nice, no mosquitoes, I can't complain. Could have happened on the way home. That would have been pretty rough at 3, 4 in the morning, because we got home at about 4:20, so could have been worse. See y'all later.